Everyone. Nice to see names and nice to see faces too. So these meditations for Seeds for Peace, they came as a result of, just the feeling of the violence that is happening in our world and wanting to make a difference, wanting to make a change. And Tere, who's on this call from YSI, happened at the same time to be, she and I happened to be very motivated at the same time to want to make a change. And so we began these meditations. And today, my husband, John, said he would join me in doing these. And we realized that together we have almost 90 years of meditation, which just means only this, that we are committed to the belief that meditation helps create peace in our lives. So I'm happy that you're here and that you share in this deep, deep belief. John's going to start us off this morning in a Tonglen meditation. He's going to do the taking part. And it's a bit of an unusual Tonglen meditation because it's taking from ourselves. Yeah. It's developing a compassionate heart for ourselves. Great. So if everybody could remain muted. I think, Jaxie, thank you. Is there a way, Pao, to make sure that everybody comes on muted?
Sure.
Thank you. Okay. So John's going to start us off, and I'll just try to sit quietly here.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. So we thought the theme would be looking at, the small acts of violence that we ourselves commit to others and to ourselves. There's a lot of self-violence. And in a form of Tonglen, we're going to take one small example. Each one of us, we're going to take a tiny example of a thought or a speech or some action that we did in the last 48 to 72 hours. One small example of anger toward yourself or to others, or something about judging. We like to judge people, and that's a form of violence, I think. And in my thinking, it's a form of violence when we, judge somebody in a very deep way. But there are small thoughts during the day that we have about, we can bring it to the current situation of the violence that we see right now in the Ukraine, or anywhere, the countless acts of violence that are creating, extraordinary negative karma for ourselves and others. And it's based on the idea that a small thought of anger toward someone we love, especially, can create a ripple effect that brings it to a much more greater and more powerful result in our future. So we're going to take that one thing and we have to review it. And then we're going to do a Tonglen and we're going to remove it. And then we're going to destroy it. And we don't do Tonglen I don't do Tonglen on myself very much. So it's a nice opportunity to remember that we can also remove our own negative emotions or even our illnesses, physical illnesses. Occasionally we should do it for us. So I want you to get ready and get comfortable. And we'll go through the whole beautiful visualization of a Tonglen, and then we'll ingest and destroy this small act of violence that we may remember. So get ready. And we always start with the breath, and we can get comfortable. And I like to stay with my eyes slightly open for the first minute or two, just to get clearly pulse, see if my mind is busy or dull. And keeping your eyes open for a little few minutes is really healthy. So you don't kind of start going into stories in your mind right at the beginning of your meditation. So come together and get your back straight, whether it's a chair or you're sitting in a, on a floor. Take 3 deep breaths. We say exhale first, inhale 1. So we take a deep exhale, push out for the count of 3 or 4, and then inhale. Do 3 deep exhales, inhales. And then let's take a minute or 2 to count our breaths. Starting with an exhale and inhale, counting 1. And see how the mind looks this morning or this evening. If you lose the count and you go on a story, come back to 1. But try to go to 10, and we'll do 2 rounds. If you need to make final adjustments to your posture, do it now, and then commit that you're not going to move for the next 26 minutes. Now take a few minutes and just begin to review the last 48 to 72 hours. Just think of the moments of subtle anger or not so subtle anger, or a series of thoughts towards someone. Or maybe even something that you did to yourself that reacted in an angry moment of emotion or a series of thoughts. It's the little irritations that can build into a massive result. It's the not so obvious. My example today is a series of thoughts about being irritated on the verge of angry about one of the people who work for me. and they're not responding on a timely basis to important questions about deadlines of events. Take one example for yourself and bring it in front of you. And I think we need to reflect for just a few seconds that whatever that form, whether it's from a thought process about someone else or yourself, or a speech process that you may have lost your worldview and criticized someone or got angry at someone, or a physical action that could have been a spontaneous, non-thinking act of anger. Bring that to the surface. And know that it must give you a result. That's the most important thing. Know that the result will generate something exponentially bigger and less uncomfortable, or more uncomfortable. I'm sorry. And then as we do Tonglen, we remember that we take that negative moment and we place it in the form of a liquid, I like to say bile, poisonous substance, a thick, gooey, liquid, black, toxic. And place it in the heart center. And then begin the process of removing it by inhaling it up through the whole throat area. Bring it out of you. With inhales, take it and let it rise out of the heart and through the esophagus, and bring it through the throat. With the inhales, pulling it upward, removing it from you. Bring it up through and then out through the nostrils, where it joins together again, just in front of the nose. In a small bubble of this toxic, bile-like liquid. That small act of anger or violence in body, speech, or mind, now outside of yourself. And then think for 1 minute that it could represent countless moments of anger, countless moments of small violences by countless fellow humans that you yourself, because of the recognition of this one series of thoughts or one action of speech or body, represents countless small acts of violence that we may do consciously or not fully conscious. And that little drop of liquid, of poisonous, toxic, black bile, can represent not just your moment of anger, but countless others. Go into your most subtle, sweet, central heart area. See the perfect diamond settled into the center of a fragrant red rose. The diamond is just self-emanating prisms of light. It's indestructible. Embodied within a rose of deep compassion and love. It's your wisdom. Wrapped in your deep kindness. And at the count of 3, on the third and final inhale, we're going to ingest that small bubble of violence, and it will hit the diamond in the rose, and it will be destroyed. That pattern will be erased from our thoughts. So get ready. We exhale 1, inhale, exhale, inhale. On this final exhale, we're going to inhale the black and destroy it as it touches the diamond. And I will snap my fingers and it's destroyed. Exhale and inhale, take the bubble of liquid, let it hit the diamond. It's destroyed. And a very tiny puff of white smoke exhales through the nostrils. And the diamond light fills the body and the mind. It is destroyed.
So stay a moment here. Enjoy this moment. See the whole interior of your body as a beautiful, clear blue light. It's the light of love and acceptance for yourself. And now you're going to give yourself, your future self, for this day, some gifts. So even as you are seated, imagine a tiny part of you gets up from the cushion and begins the day or the evening. And your heart and their heart are connected. And on this connection, first, you give them the gift of wisdom. What does the gift look like? It looks like an understanding in the very moment that they need it, that you need it, of the fact that whatever it is coming from you. So maybe you're driving your car or you're in a public transport somewhere. That flash of anger is about to arise. But wisdom comes to you from this moment, this meditation, this morning. Perhaps you're in a board meeting and that flash begins to arise. Flash of anger, and you recognize that you created it from something you did before. The whole situation. And so wisdom stops a future event of violence. Take yourself on a journey through your next 24 hours, looking for the triggers and the moments that you need this wisdom. Find them and give them to yourself. So now we've given ourselves the gift of wisdom. Let's give ourselves the gift of energy. Energy for those times when we need the strength to overcome outer circumstances that we have also created. The energy to put in place the wisdom. So find those times in the next 24 hours that you know you will need this gift of wisdom and energy. Maybe your future self needs the gift of sleep or rest. So give that to yourself too. All of those things that you need to keep your wisdom strong, give them to yourself. Finally, give yourself the gift to see with eyes of love, wisdom, and compassion. When you look at the world, look at everything through the eyes of love, wisdom, and compassion. And then give yourself the gift to act from this place of love, wisdom, and compassion. Now bring this small being that you sent out into the world back to your heart. And from your own heart, give the gift of this meditation. Dedicate this meditation, this act of peace, to every being in the world. And begin to lengthen your inhales and exhales. Take a deep breath, one final deep breath. And on the exhale, you can open your eyes. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful day or evening, rest wherever you are.
Thank you.